Welcome everybody, my name is Jacob Ferguson, and today we are going to be covering RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9, Episode 5. The Queens had to participate in a Property Brothers type commercial challenge, and on the runway category is Day to Night Eleganza. Reveals, 2 and 1, that. Let's talk about the episode. So, Angeria is snipped to begin with, and I kind of understand why she was, though. I will say that the the way that Angeria is taking this is not good, and I would agree. Jinx at least had 2 wins and was a massive frontrunner before she got blocked a second time, and Roxy blocking Angeria right off the jump was kind of insane. Here's the thing. Roxy's best friend is Plastique in the competition. We have seen them kiki together a bunch of times. Vanjie's best friend is Gottmik. They've had this whole Gottmik Vanjie thing going on. And Nina gave Roxy her badge, which I don't think that she should have, but okay, whatever. Chanel's trying to get a badge, so the only viable options were Angeria and Georges. Georges had just been blocked, so Angeria was the only viable option for the both of them to pick. I think that if it had just been Vanjie on her own, as it should have been, she probably would have chosen Plastique. But considering the fact that it was both of them, Roxy kind of took the charge and chose Angeria. Roxy's kind of becoming the villain of the season almost. I love that Cutthroat Roxy is back. She's making her way up like Rocky, climbing up the stairs. Yeah, she's here finally. And I'm glad that we get to see this side of her now because I'm like, yes, it's not just best friends. We're best friends. In week 3 when I did this and it became the thumbnail of the video. I don't get to choose my own thumbnails. They just choose it for me. So Roxy is now here in the competition. She, Vanjie, and Gottmik all have 2 badges. Excuse me. And now it is time for maybe Chanel to win her first badge. Chanel is definitely the Evie Oddly of the season. I can already tell you this. They're not really featuring her a whole lot. And if they do, it's usually like hey, Chanel's here too. And her runways are very, very good and clean, but Chanel's here too. So Chanel has this iconic moment where they're all sitting there and they're explaining the math of why they blocked Angeria and the badges and all of that, and Chanel's just sitting there like, oh wow. Hello darkness, my old friend. Like, she, no thoughts, head empty, head spinning around. She just has like the dancing cockroach in her head, or a Homer Simpson monkey with the cymbals. It's just iconic. And she's trying to talk to Gottmik about the fact that there's no alliance. Because that was a big point of contention. Sorry, I had to take some medication. I was coughing a whole lot. There was a big point of contention last week was that I feel weird. I feel like I'm not centered. Was that the alliances were taking over the competition. Chanel and Nina are not in an alliance, but you can definitely tell that a lot of people are. I think Angeria and Georges were an early alliance, but I don't think that they were fully committed to an alliance. But Plastique and Roxy and Vanjie and Gottmik are definitely alliances. So let's get to the actual episode. Also, before we start, Angeria and Chanel's. I saw this. I think Queen Kong posted it. Angeria and Chanel's makeup partner looked like an adult film star. I wouldn't know anything about that because I'm a good Christian woman. I'm a good 23-year-old. Nah, I don't know who he is. I definitely haven't watched any videos with him. Anyway, let's move on. So they all come back into the workroom, and tensions I would say are a tiny bit high still. And all of that is broken when RuPaul walks in and goes, "Guess what time it is? It's time for a Soul Train dance-off." We've seen a lot of these. One time they were dressed as old women, one time they were just dressed as Soul Train dancers. But this time we have the iconic, the Teletubbies. Now, when they came out, I was very confused as to why the Teletubbies were on my screen, why they were on my drag race, my good Christian drag race. I follow. There you go. There's the answer to that. I follow the Teletubbies from time to time. I know that they've been to DragCon. I know that they're big fans of Drag Race, and I know the Tammy Brown quote. But it is still very odd seeing the Teletubbies just show up. Um, it was kind of iconic. I told all of my friends and family, I'm like, why are the Teletubbies here? What did they do? Um, I never personally watched the Teletubbies as a kid. The only episode I watched was when they all got sick and threw up, and my mom said, "Yep, that's enough for you." Plus, we weren't really in the age demographic to watch them. We watched a lot of like Little Einsteins and all of that sort of stuff. Roly Poly Oly. We tried watching Little Bear. My grandmother actually had a problem with it because the little bear never wore any clothing. She's like, "Why is that bear naked yet his parents are clothed? It's weird." But the Teletubbies were kind of just a meme for me and my brother, just because like whenever there would be like a tense moment in our household, my brother would just pull out his iPad and play the Teletubbies theme song. My mom would be like, "No, no more Teletubbies, stop it." I also think of the Smosh did Teletubby reunion. I was high on custard. That that that's immediately what I think of now when I think of the Teletubbies is freaking Smosh. That's weird. Anyway, so the queens participate in this wackadoo Soul Train dance number, and the winner is Gottmik. And Gottmik just wins $25,000 for her charity, or $2,500 rather. Sorry. And the queen who actually gets to pair the queens up is Angeria, because she's been snipped twice. Are you kidding? We just went through there. That's a Willy Wonka quote. Um, Angeria decides to take Vanjie for herself. Pairs up Roxy. Well, no. She pairs up Georges and Gottmik, Nina West and Chanel, and finally Plastique and Roxy are the last two queens left, so they have to pair up. There are 4 location spots that they have to do realting at. I originally thought that this was just going to be like each team does the exact same one, but no, they all get to choose theirs. Nina West and Chanel are doing Salem, Massachusetts. Angeria and Vanessa Van Mateo are doing Gator Land, a Gator community in the Everglades. Gottmik and Georges are doing a like ice Alaskan retreat, and Roxy and Plastique are doing Tumbleweed, Texas. So, let's get into it. First and foremost, I'd like to say that immediately, Angeria and Vanjie are off to a great start. They have a lot of like what they're doing, all the little nuances down, and I think that they were going to win. I just thought that based on the fact that both of them were working well together. Nina West and Chanel also work well together. The problem is that Chanel wants to gather outfit materials rather than actually rehearse their lines and what they're doing. Georges and Plastique are no, Georges and Gottmik. Sorry, Georges and Plastique was last week. Georges and Gottmik are ADHD scatterbrain and forget everything that they're going to say. I can't tell if Georges has ADHD or if it's just the weed, but she seems very out of it. And Gottmik is just openly admits she forgets things. So, they're working well together. They're not really writing a whole lot down. Plastique and Roxy are the two that really just seem like they're okay. They have a couple of things down pat, and they're doing great. Um, it is time to film the commercials with Carson Kressley and Tracy Tudor from Million Dollar Listings LA. Have I seen that show? Do I want to see that show? No. I thought that she was about to be like an Aubrey O'Day type of person, because I was like, okay, well, she's here, but she's you remember Aubrey O'Day? She was on season 5, and she had the eyes, and was really just not a good director to the queens. Um, I thought that Tracy Tudor was about to be that, but no, she was actually a good-ish thing. Goodish kind of director. I kind of wish that it had been her and maybe Michelle directing, just because I don't know if Carson really is the best person to direct. Um, Things. Also, I wish that this was like they did the bathrooms, like a design challenge, not just a green screen challenge, because I don't know, I just think that's kind of stupid. Um, all of them perform moderately well except for Gottmik and Georges. They're kind of all over the place. Um, at least she taught. At least they taught Tracy what flip flocking was, so that's great. Um, they get back into the workroom, and Roxy immediately is like, "Y'all are doing Florida, but I live in Florida, and let me tell you, you didn't embody Florida." And Evange's like, "Well, actually, yes, I did," and it gets kind of heated. Um, but in the end, Evange's like, "Let me just do what I gotta do, and stop arguing with people." Um, sure, I guess. So on the main stage, the guest judge this week is Alec Mappa. Okay. Alec Mappa was one of the first ever guests on the Snatch Game. He was on season 2, and I have to say, he looked better then than he did now. Alec Mappa kind of gives me like the vibe of like somebody who would be at the dinner party in Beetlejuice almost. Like, he seems like a wealthy client that just would want to buy something, and he wouldn't really care if the house was haunted. Yeah, that's what he kind of gives me. Comment below what your thoughts on Alec Mappa, but I think he's an okay guest judge. Sometimes, though, the last time we saw him was season 14, so who knows? But yeah. And RuPaul's dress is kind of cute. It's a flower dress. I do have to say though, Ru, come on, you can do better. Get the gams out. Get the like giant ball gown out. But I know you can't fit sweatpants underneath all of that. So category is day to night eleganza extravaganza. I of course took pictures. First and foremost, proof that the Teletubbies did actually make an appearance. I hate it here. Alright, first up is Nina West. So, this was her first look. It's a nun, obviously. And then she has this look. It is a stained glass look. And then, finally, I know you can't read it. But it says God is a drag queen. Now, her looks this season have been a point of controversy because I don't necessarily enjoy her looks. What I will say here is that, again, it's a pride message. Again, they're one of them is campy, one of them is trying to be beautiful, and the other is just unneeded. The message is beautiful, but honestly, unneeded. The second look was really, really clean, concise, and put together, and I actually kind of liked it. As for her first look, it was just a reveal. But again, even that look, it was over the top and campy, and I liked it, but it just was what it was. The final look, though, needed to be burned in a fire. I did not like that look at all. There she goes. Seashell, what are you doing? Okay. She's gotten really heavy. It's weird. She weighs about the same as a cat that I have at my mom's house. Anyway, let's move on to Chanel. So this is Chanel's first look. Oh, by the way, Nina's looks will get 2 creams and then crunch. This look is okay. I don't know if you can see it that well. And here's the second look. Honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of the showgirl aesthetic. Or just the beautiful gown aesthetic. I want to see her come out in like a very campy costume. And I know that's not what she's going to do. And it's going to keep on being just a showgirl beauty aesthetic. But a girl can dream, right? I can dream. These looks are going to be creams, though I am kind of getting tired of the exact same thing over and over again. She sells it each and every time the same on the runway, too. And we've talked about that. You know, she looks like she's just gotten, like, surprise birthday partied. It's cute, but again, it's a cream. But I am kind of getting, in the words of La Roche, I'm still fucking bored. Like, I just want her to break out of just her showgirl aesthetic and give us something over the top and campy. I think that'd be really funny. Though Chanel herself is kind of camp in the way that she presents herself on the runway, so maybe that's just me. Let's very quickly, though, talk about their commercial. Actually, we're going to save the commercials for later. Next up on the runway, because we got a lot of runway to do, is Plastique Tiara. So I kind of took the picture at a weird angle, but it's cute, right? It's kind of cute. And then she reveals to bam. Plastique is always good about doing these looks that are Asian representation, but also so beautiful. I'm not getting bored with her. She's doing not exactly the exact same thing on the runway each week, but again, it all has a theme. Same with Nina West. Hers is gay pride, Asian excellence, and I think that is great. It's great to have a through line with all of your looks, and I don't have to look at Plastiques like I do with Nina's and go, why isn't this good? Plastique delivers runways heightened. I do wish the hair changed out from the other for the bodysuit. I just don't know if the geisha hair matched with the knife bodysuit thing. She was kind of giving me the Asian character in Temple Run a little bit, which is always a compliment. She was my favorite character to play as. So yeah, I loved it. It's a cream, obviously. Up next is Roxy Andrews. It was kind of giving burlesque, Christina Aguilera almost. Also, I didn't get the jacket goes back in on itself and becomes another jacket. Can I say something controversial yet brave here? I'm tired of seeing the 50s housewife thing be a reveal. It's like 50s housewife, and usually but she's actually either a dominatrix or a robot. I'm glad that Roxy did this sort of look. Can we stop doing it? Can we stop doing 50s housewife with a dark secret? Or in her case, with a starry secret. She has the stars. It's a beautiful look, and she made it herself, and obviously That's amazing, and I love her for it. But can we stop with the 1950s turning into something else? It's so worn out. We have it every single time there's a reveal on the runway. It is just constant, like 1950s robot, 1950s dominatrix. Even fucking Tina Burner did that, or Rose as Tina Burner did that. Let's just leave that. Let's leave that in the past. Roxy looks great here. She looks nice. Up next is Gottmik. So she's wearing menswear, um, but with a surprise. So we have seen this before with Lemon from UK versus the World, where she would have done a reveal to um, her backside as well. It's not the most inventive, but I will say it is visually entertaining. What I will say though is this is a bit basic for Gottmik. Everybody was living for it on the judges panel. I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of hate for this, but I'm going to give this a crunch. It's just basic. There was no reveal about it, other than the backside of an outfit. So this is a crunch. Next up is Georges. And you know I live for Gottmik, so that's me saying something. This look looks like she's going to like go shop at like Marshalls. It's summer at Tanger Outlets in the South, and she has like 5 kids that she's trying to manage by taking them to the Disney store, also in Tanger Outlets. Um, but one of them wants like a Cheshire Cat plushie, and she just can't even with them because she's got to go get her credits at Ann Taylor Loft, and Banana Republic. It's not my mom, but she's somebody's mom. Uh, and then she turns into Diana Ross. This look is beautiful, though I will say that again, it's beautiful. I don't know why I said, but I will say again, I didn't really have anything to say. It's Diana Ross. It's gorgeous. I do wish the hair changed with it. Maybe not that hair with the mom outfit, but then the hair with this outfit. I don't know. It looked great. Um, it's a cream for me. Though Georges hasn't had the best runways this season, this runway was pretty good. So, if it's pretty good by Georges standards, it's a cream. Next up is Angeria Paris Van Michaels. Um, so this is what it reveals to. I like the concept. I like that it is African tribal print. I like that it is um, African aesthetic, obviously. Um, this is All Stars. You can't just rip off a little piece of skirt and have it just turn into a bigger skirt. There needs to be like something else there. Also, the clashing patterns, as the judges said. It's a crunch, though I will say that I do like the idea. And then finally, we have Vanessa Vanjie Mateo doing Pretty Woman. So this was her first look. You can't really see it because it's all white. So I took a better picture of it here. And then she turns into that, and I love it. Have I seen Pretty Woman before? No. Um, though I will say I know some of the references, like Bring Steak Huge. And I really did enjoy this runway. It was Julia Roberts down the house down boots. She did great. It's a cream. Let's talk about their challenges. First up, Nina West and Gottmik, Salem, Massachusetts. This was good, if a little bit too professional. There's something that you can say about all of these, which is like they're amateur, sort of. Like, you shouldn't have to know all of the real estate lingo to win the challenge, you know? I think what Nina and Nina and Chanel were trying to do were was to be the most professional. It would have been funny if they were saying like all of these things but getting them wrong. But like in a spooky setting, that wouldn't have really worked. They were trying to do like this, ooh, come with me and all of that. It just didn't work for me. Um, I did like the reference to Liberace because both of them played Liberace on Snatch Game, but again, it was just kind of I was kind of just bored. I was bored with all of them. I don't, except for maybe Angeria and Vanjie's. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's nice. And maybe Roxy and Plastique. I got a few laughs out of me, but like, it's just the same old challenge on Drag Race. You know, it is just what it is. It's that. So I'm gonna give this soft cream, a sour cream, maybe. You know, I just it was okay. It was spooky. It was ooky, but it didn't get all the laughs out of me. Up next, let's talk about Roxy and Plastique. This was funny-ish. Plastique more than Roxy. Though I do think that them being in the West really helped out a lot. Plastique immediately just going over the top, amazing. Roxy kind of being the straight man, funny. Um, do I think that this was a winning challenge? I don't know. Um, but it was definitely up there. Plastique gets a cream, Roxy gets a cream. It was a funny thing. Plastique just jumping up and down and all of that was really cool. Um, I wish they had played up the fact that she was pregnant a little bit more. Um, they're like, she's a whore. And I'm like, that's great. Where's the whore? Nothing. Um, I also think that they could have done it as sort of like a reenactment town sort of thing. Instead of just hillbillies, I think that they could have taken the route of, like a freaking Knott's Berry Farm type thing or, a ghost town and really sold it. Um, and maybe have Plastique be like the town stripper or town hooker or something like that, and Roxy kind of be like the sheriff. I think that that could have lent itself to more comedy than what they actually ended up doing. So it's a cream, but again, it didn't really blow me away. Let's talk about Vanjie and Angeria before we go to Gottmik and Georges. They did the Florida Everglades. I have to say, it was really funny, more so with Angeria than with Vanjie. Vanjie puts on this, like, affectation of, like, I'm going to just call it the Cookie Monster voice, because that's what she kind of did for the dad and Good God Girl Get Out. But it was very much like, I don't know how to do it, but it was like, I kind of liked that for this, though I do think that she kind of got lost in it a little bit. Angeria was just a solid player in the game. She was making jokes. Paul went out for old Uncle Rael. We lost him to the Gators. That's just it was comically funny. And I remember the if you want to use the bathroom, it's just a boat ride away, but don't go after 7 o'clock because that's when we lost old Uncle Rael. It's great. Solid 10 out of 10 skit. I just wished it was a little bit funnier. That there were a little bit more jokes. But both of them, they get creams. They did great. Godbeck and Georges were the least funny. And it was because they were trying to combine whores with ice fishing. Which I think it would have been funny if both of them were scantily clad. Both of them were like, the cold doesn't bother us. And, all of that. But I really think that there was a lot there that they could have done. They could have brought up a lot of the activities that they could do. Snuggle up in an igloo. Like, I think they made a reference to uneasy stairs or unclimbable stairs or something. I lost it at that because that's just like some sort like everything else that they were doing, like they were like promoting dog sledding and ice fishing and an igloo and then uneasy stairs. And I was just like, that's so funny. Why couldn't there have been more jokes like this? Like, and be on the watch out for polar bears, and then like a polar bear run past. It would have been so funnier if they had just included all of that. So, with that being said, it's a crunch for both of them. I think that both of them did bad. Finally, we get to the judges' critiques, and in the middle of the judges' critiques, Georges breaks down and cries. And RuPaul gives her some advice that I think for this challenge would not have worked. And I don't know when she would use this. He goes, "You're gay. Gay, 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 gay. What if you played a butch character? And, all of that, and you had to do like all of the affectations and stuff like that, and the this and the that and that's funny." And I'm like, but is it though? It's what Georges does, and I don't understand why you find it funny. But to me, it just I didn't get it. Georges is crying because she feels like she let you down comedy wise, which is, I'm gonna just say it. It's true. Georges did not do that great of a job this week. And though I feel sorry for her, I'm like, at the same time, girl, you're one of 8 here. Be proud that you can't get sent home, because you probably would have been. Because if this was an elimination challenge, Gottmik and Georges would have been in the bottom, and they're not getting rid of Gottmik. Georges, I think that Georges' issue was that she really didn't take all of the concepts and go, what can we do to make this funnier? And Gottmik didn't do that either. Gottmik, they were so dead set on playing frozen hookers that they really didn't carry out the idea further than that. So it's little things like maybe coming up with a few more of those throwaway jokes, like the stairs. And then not following it up with, make sure you have insurance. Nobody needs to understand. That's implied, It's just falling on a slippery stairs. That's funny. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. What are you guys thinking? Leave it in the comments down below. But let's get into the lip sync. I actually skipped over the judges' main conversation. But from what I can infer, Vanjie and Nigeria were also high placement this week. Because let's be real here, the other two really didn't meet the mark, edgewise. Plastique and Roxy end up winning the challenge. I disagree. I think it should have been Nigeria and Vanjie. That's just me. And both of them win a beautiful benefactress badge. And both of them have to lip sync. And the lip sync song is Super Freaky Girl by Nicki Minaj. Super Freaky Girl by Nicki Minaj was everywhere. It was everywhere. You couldn't get rid of it. And now they're playing it here. I'm like, okay. That's cool. Why do none of them know the words? It is to the same beat of Super Freak by Rick James. And neither one of them know the words. I don't even think that anybody else could have really done this song. Vanjie maybe. But Nina West to this, absolutely not. So when the lip sync starts, Roxy's already killing it with the moves. Plastique is trying to trip Roxy up at some points. She just really wants that money for the Asian American Foundation, I suppose. But Roxy is giving it her all. She's giving every single ounce in her tank, which is great. But her mouth isn't doing what the song is doing. Also, that filthy lyrics alert, I don't know how many times they're going to have to bleep that stuff out at on the YouTube channel when they upload it. But it was an okay lip sync. Was it the best lip sync of the season? No. I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for them to have the best lip sync of the season. Because while I do think that Black Cat was a good little lip sync, it wasn't the best. These girls can do more, and I'm very curious as to why The songs haven't been better, and RuPaul hasn't told them step your pussies up. So Roxy wins the lip sync, which is fine by me. I don't care. But the problem, Roxy doesn't know who to chop. I obviously would have probably gone for Gottmik originally. Just you have two badges. Here you go. Or Vanjie. I could have also chosen Vanjie, given her the snip. But Roxy takes an annoyingly long amount of time to do it. And when she ends up doing it, she ends up crying. First, she is not looking at anybody, crab walking all the way over here, over there, like sidestepping, and she ends up in Nigeria's, and she goes, snap! And Nigeria turns around and sees her, and I immediately go, and then she turns around, sees Angeria, immediately goes, I'm not doing that. Angeria is shook. Everybody is shook. Everybody looks at her like, bitch, what are you doing? It is just... Why would you block Nina, by the way? Why would you do that? You could have easily blocked Nina last week, but she gave you a badge. Why would you block her now? That doesn't make any sense. Block Gottmik. Gottmik has the badges. Or Vanjie, because Vanjie also has the badges. It's stupid. So she's just a hot boo-boo mess. Just crying. She ends up handing it to Mick and just sobbing while she's doing it. And Mick's like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. And in the confessional, she's like, I'm fucking pissed. But considering the fact that Roxy's having a harder time doing this than I have, I suppose that it's only fair if I just be a sister and help her out. It looks like next week is a roast, which is very detrimental to Gottmik, considering the fact that she does not have a chance to win another badge. I'm still waiting on Chanel to get her first badge. I would be surprised if she even gets a badge this season. What do you guys think? Do you think that Roxy is going to be the villain of the season now? Leave your comments down below. Also, don't attack Roxy for any of this, obviously. My top three currently are Angeria Pearson Michaels, Gottmik, and aesthetically Roxy Andrews. If I were to choose a fourth place, I would probably have to choose Nina West. Just for aesthetics. You know, you got all the pageant queens and then the campy queen. Who do you guys want to be in your top three? Leave your comments down below. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully I'm not as sick as I am right now. Bye, y'all.